On today's Smart 7, the Met Police are under pressure over protests, good news for Ukraine, and lots more. It's Thursday, 9th of November, it's World Adoption Day, and happy birthday, Finn Cole.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
As the conflict in Gaza continues, the focus in the UK has been on the growing calls for a ceasefire. Every weekend, pro-Palestinian marches have been calling for humanitarian treatment for the civilians caught in the middle of the war between Israel and Hamas. Home Secretary Suella Braverman referred to them as hate marches, and the government has been warning that the protest this weekend should be cancelled as it will happen in parallel with Armistice Day commemorations. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak had stern words for Met Police Commissioner Mark Rowley on Wednesday.
This is a decision that the Metropolitan Police Commissioner has made, and he has said that he can ensure that he safeguards remembrance. Now, my job is to hold him accountable for that, and we've asked the police for information on how they will ensure that this happens.
Despite the political unease, the Met says the protest will be nowhere near the cenotaph, and any move to ban it would be a last resort. Suella Braverman then accused the police of playing favourites over its handling of the protests. Meanwhile, US Secretary of State Anthony Blinken attended a G7 meeting in Tokyo and updated the foreign ministers on his diplomatic efforts in the Middle East. He says that a full ceasefire is still out of the question, but that the case for a temporary break in fighting is clear.
We all agreed that humanitarian pauses would advance key objectives: to protect Palestinian civilians, to increase the sustained flow of humanitarian assistance, and to facilitate the release of hostages.
The COVID inquiry continued its investigation into what went on in number 10 Downing Street during the pandemic on Wednesday. The UK's highest-ranking civil servant at the time, Mark Sedwill, testified that he found Boris Johnson's government to be brutal and useless, and that he did not trust Health Secretary Matt Hancock to be honest. Lord Sedwill was the Cabinet Secretary during the early part of the pandemic, and he took the opportunity to apologise for remarks he made during his time in Downing Street. He said that in an attempt to make an argument about herd immunity, he suggested that perhaps people should have chickenpox-style parties, but he realised quickly that was an unfortunate misstep.
At no point did I believe that coronavirus was only of the same seriousness of chickenpox. I knew it was a much more serious disease. That was not the point I was trying to make.
Current Health Secretary Steve Barclay was still busy trying to clean up after Boris, defending his former boss for the callous remark that they should let the bodies pile high when faced with a second lockdown. Steve says it may have been a simple matter of remarks taken out of context.
It's easy for things to be taken out of context or to be relayed in a particular way that may be at odds with the way it was said or the context of things at the time. I obviously wasn't there, but we've got an inquiry to look at these issues, to get to the bottom of it.
Things have been tough for Ukraine lately as Russia continues its war, with regular drone and missile attacks on civilian targets and the battle along the front lines continuing to rage. With diminishing support from the US as arguments over funding tie up more military aid, President Zelensky was relieved to get good news from the EU on Wednesday. Ukraine has been hard at work cleaning up corruption and putting its house in order with a view to being allowed to join the European Union. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen had good news on that front.
The remaining reforms are already on their way. That's good. And the Commission commends these efforts. And on this basis, we have recommended today that the Council opens accession negotiations.
Donald Trump's New York civil fraud case continued on Wednesday with daughter Ivanka in the witness box. She's managed to separate herself from the case, so she's not a party to the proceedings. She was simply appearing as a witness, although she was instrumental in securing the loans from Deutsche Bank when she worked for the Trump Organization. Ivanka was the final witness in the prosecution case, and New York Attorney General Letitia James knew exactly what to expect.
Ivanka Trump secured, negotiated loans to obtain favorable terms based on fraudulent statements of financial condition. And she will attempt today to distance herself from the company.
Still to come on the Smart 7, disaster in Denmark for Man United and the sexiest man alive is announced. Right after this. Welcome back. Wednesday night saw more Champions League action. Man United travelled to Denmark to take on FC Copenhagen, while Arsenal welcomed Spanish side Sevilla. The Gunners made things look easy with a 2-goal win that sees them top of their group and qualified for the knockout stages. Things didn't go smoothly for Man United though. They took an early 2-goal lead, then Marcus Rashford got a red card and things fell apart. United lost the game 4-3 and are now bottom of their group. Manager Erik ten Hag was trying to put a brave face on another disastrous evening.
I think first we played very good till the red card, but the red card changes everything. And then it's become a different game. But then you concede 2 goals who never should count. And that's very disappointing.
Incredible as it may seem, it's that time of year when People magazine announced the Sexiest Man Alive award. Once again, I've been overlooked. This time in favour of Grey's Anatomy star Patrick Dempsey. At 57, he's the second oldest sexiest man alive, and he replaces Chris Evans, who now returns to normal life and an appropriate level of sexiness. One can only imagine that Harry Styles is heartbroken, but Patrick seems pretty pleased.
Hi there, my name is Patrick Dempsey, and finally, I am this year's People magazine Sexiest Man Alive for the next 10 years. I don't know why there should be anybody after me, to be honest with you. So this is it. This is the end of it. And it's good. It's been a great run for People, and congratulations. And I'm glad I could finish it all for you.
If you haven't seen Slow Horses on Apple TV Plus, you're in for a treat. No, it's not a touching tale of an old horse's home. Instead, it's a quite brilliant spy thriller and comedy all in one. The Slow Horses are disgraced and rejected MI5 agents who've been well put out to pasture, but still hope for redemption. It stars Gary Oldman, and Series 3 drops on December 1st.
You can wipe your slate clean.
Okay. There's another game being played that will probably leave me worse off. I just can't see what this one is yet.
It's an honour to be selected for field work.
Shut up.
Got it.
Really?
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes, we'll give